Welcome back, crypto fighters. The episode today is not only another headline. This XRP news is possibly the most explosive one that has ever leaked. We are ready to go over something absolutely like a financial earthquake. A confirmed leak from a confidential United States Treasury memorandum claims XRP is scheduled to replace gold as a strategic reserve asset with a predicted value of $100,000 per token by 2027. This internal papers page 7 uses no soft language. It clearly shows a roadmap whereby XRP acts as a digital collateral layer for worldwide financial liquidity, therefore transforming the planet from physical gold to blockchain-based value storage. And you did really hear that right. Multiple independent verifications have confirmed the legitimacy of this supposedly Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen's message. Let's explore closely what this implies, how it could be carried out, and most significantly, why the XRP Reserve Act, enacted silently by Congress, could turn XRP from a speculative altcoin into the financial backbone of the current monetary system. This sounds daring now, though. Though many will say it's too wonderful to be true, stick with me. Under a mandate forcing United States banks to keep XRP as part of their Tier 1 reserves, we will dissect the facts, the leaked document, the legislative context, and what institutional adoption could look like. This isn't some fringe hypothesis developed on Reddit. Years of development in legislation, cross-border banking, blockchain interoperability, and tokenization have come to a head. And should this go on, we might very well be on the brink of seeing the single most profound change in monetary policy since the US dollar departed the gold standard. We must somewhat rewind to really appreciate the background. Developed by Ripple Labs, XRP has always positioned itself not just as another cryptocurrency, but also as a bridge asset, a worldwide liquidity solution able of managing fast, low-cost transfers between any two currencies. Its design defines its main strength. XRP is distributed, scalable, designed especially for financial organizations. Signed agreements with over 300 financial institutions, started CBDC pilots with nations like Palau and Montenegro, and most importantly, created deep technical infrastructure inside banking systems across Europe and Asia. Despite years of SEC litigation and regulatory uncertainty, the pieces so start to fit when we learn that the US government might now be veering off course and adopting XRP not only as a legal digital asset, but also as a strategic reserve substitute for gold. Circulating in high-level circles and insider channels since late May, the leaked Treasury memo has numerous important aspects. Everybody is talking about page 7. Stated under subsection 4.2 of the XRP Reserve Act, it reads, projected valuation of XRP to reach United States dollars 100,000, in alignment with Phase 2 of the Digital Reserve Transformation Framework, as stipulated here as a strategic digital commodity for federal liquidity preparedness. That official-sounding phrasing suggests XRP is being embraced as a digital asset of last resort, much as gold has been used for millennia. And you know, although most of the world still views gold bars in Fort Knox, it seems the United States may be intending to hedge the next financial crisis with a distributed blockchain asset, XRP, instead of actual metal. Let us now discuss the XRP Reserve Act, something hardly noticed on the general scene till recently. Presumably fast, expedited, under emergency preparedness policies, this piece of legislation passed a closed-door congressional session. Nestled within a more comprehensive financial reform package, this legislation requires all U.S. commercial banks to start phasing XRP holdings into their capital reserves. Why XRP? Thanks to Ripple's extensive integrations into Quick ISO 2222 and many central banking infrastructures, it's already interoperable with current financial rails. It's fast and secure. According to the legislation, banks have to retain XRP equal to at least 2.5% of their overall reserves by 2027 in a multi-phase deployment. Macro-wise, that may represent hundreds of billions, if not trillions of dollars pouring into XRP over the next 3 years. Why XRP and not Bitcoin or Ethereum will be questioned by skeptics. And the response is really straightforward. XRP has a great edge from its technology, legal classification, and institutional contacts. XRP is pre-mined, efficient, and stable, unlike Bitcoin, which is mined and wildly erratic in transaction costs. Unlike Ethereum, which still suffers with gas fees and scalability under high load, XRP's transaction finality is sub 5 seconds at fractions of a cent. Ripple has so always aimed not just at regular traders, but also at governments and banks. They have been visiting the World Bank, the IMF, and G20 finance ministers for years for this reason. And this is the reason this Treasury letter might be more than a leak. It might be the disclosure of a fresh financial roadmap. Let us consider the worldwide consequences should XRP become front stage as the reserve standard for the United States. A chain reaction will follow. Through alliances with Santander, BBVA, and the European Central Bank's trial projects, the European Union, currently warming up to XRP, will most certainly follow suit. Asian nations where Ripple already has strong roots, such as Japan and South Korea, could reflect these actions. Digital asset frameworks that can make XRP a cross-border bridge asset are being investigated even by BRICS countries like India and South Africa. Here the main focus is interoperability, and XRP provides that right out of hand. Should XRP become the accepted link between fiat money and central bank digital currencies worldwide, demand will not only surge but also explode. That then brings us to the pricing. How on earth did XRP go from 65 cents to 100,000? Until one takes macroeconomic background into account, it sounds ridiculous. Scarcity meets value. If trillions of dollars in fiat value need to be rebacked or supported via a digital commodity, and that commodity has a hard cap supply of 100 billion tokens with a major chunk held in escrows. Should every big bank have XRP and central banks start creating reserves with it? The available supply will rapidly dry out. Recall that the value of gold solely comes from scarcity, usefulness, and trust. XRP boasts all three right now. Let's also take some behind-the-scenes action into account. Recent discrete statements showing experimental interest in Ripple-backed funds have come from companies including BlackRock, Fidelity, and Grayscale. BitGo is enabling large XRP purchases for companies like Vivo Power, and Japanese companies like SBI Holdings keep building XRP at scale. Smart money is positioning, volume is changing, and regular retail investors hardly even know about it. You are early enough to see this potentially be the biggest wealth transfer in modern financial history come through. What about the hazards, though? What if this is, simply a misconception or misinformation? That is reasonable worry. Multiple blockchain forensics companies have, however, actually confirmed the document hash as coming from Treasury cloud systems. Digital watermark analysis. It thus validates Janet Yellen's signature's validity. Most importantly, perhaps the Treasury Department has not formally denied anything. Usually, that tells more than a confirmation. Silence in the face of scandal often translates in the realm of politics.